Good evening, everyone. This is Attorney Luis Victoria, an immigration lawyer from Miami, Florida. I'm going to talk with you about how to apply to an E2 visa. An E2 visa is an investor's visa. So we have many questions about this visa. But before we continue, we are going to our intro, guys. Okay. Well, we come back now and we are going to talk about important aspects about the E2 visa. This is going to be a part of different videos about the E2 visa, as well as the different immigration issues and immigration important subjects that we have been talking about throughout the beginning of our YouTube channel. So guys, we are going to talk today about how do you do to to have the E2 visa in your hands, or to have an E2 status. First of all, there is a huge difference between the E2 status and E2 visa. The E2 status is a different thing because that E2 status is, when you obtain that status here within the United States. But in order for having the E2 visa, you have to go into a consular process. So you have to go into a consulate in order to receive your physical E2 visa. So, but we are going to start with four main questions or four main reflections. The first of them is going to be, how do you enter to the United States? Did you enter legally? So that's the first question. So second one, have you been working illegally here in the United States? Okay, that's very important to know in order to apply for the E2 visa. The third question, or the third, element that you have to analyze is, do you have the I-94 still valid? So, and the fourth one is going to be, so you have any inadmissibility, because under the immigration law we have different inadmissibility grounds that can't bar you in order to apply for a non-immigrant visa, which is in this case is the E2 visa. It's a non-immigrant visa. Okay, despite that it doesn't give you the green card or the permanent resident status, it gives you the possibility to live here. Okay, we are going to talk today, basically in this video, we are going to focus on how you are going to apply when you are within the United States, when you are here in the United States, because it's a different process than when you are living outside, when you are in your own country. So which means that it's going to be a different process. It's going to be a different, a type of steps that you have to follow. But today we are going to teach you, or to give you the important elements in order for you to be able to apply for the E2 status meanwhile you are living here in the United States. Remember that status is different than visa. So the first thing is, the first thing that we are going to talk about this process is how to prepare your visa, how to prepare your change of status. The change of status is going to be from the visa that you had when you enter legally to the United States. For example, the B2 visa. When you enter here as a tourist, you have the B2 visa. You are going to change your status from that visa to the E2. So the first thing that you have to do is to apply throughout something that we call a form I-29. The I-29 is the form that we use in order to change the status. But if you have, for example, your spouse or children minor than 21 years old, they are going to apply throughout the I-539, which is a different form because they are not the main subjects or the principal applicants from the E2 visa. So in this case we are going to have that change of status because we enter with one visa, I repeat again, and then we are going to have a different status, a different type of visa, so which is a non-immigrant visa too. So now we are going to keep in mind in this first aspect, in this first point, we are going to focus on the intent. The intent cannot be the immigrant intent, because if you have immigrant intent, so you are going to be in trouble. You are going to be, in violation of the immigration laws, in violation of the U.S. immigration laws, because when you are coming here, you came here with a non-immigrant visa, which is a tourist visa, B2 visa, for example. So, and now you are applying for another visa, which is a non-immigrant visa. It's not an immigrant visa. So the second point is that once you follow the different steps that you are going to find in the instructions of the E2 visa, you can find these instructions in the USCIS.gov, which is the United States and U.S. and Immigration Services website. So you go in there and you are going to find always the instructions of that specific form. So once you find those specific instructions, you are going to follow them in order to fill out the form, in this case, which is the I-129. Okay, so once you finish, this form, you are going to mail this form to the specific service center, which is normally in California in this case. So the third step that you are going to have is to wait some weeks. Normally it's between 4 weeks up to 4 months actually. Right now you are going to maybe to experience a little bit more time in order to have the response from the government, because we have had several issues. Everyone knows the pandemic and the congestion in the USCIS. Okay, so however, we are going to talk with you about the premium processing, which is like a different option that you have in order to apply in expedited way throughout the USCIS applications forms. So if you pay a specific fee in order to obtain that result, is going to be quicker. For example, in 15 business days you are going to have a response. You have to pay that, but this is going to be a subject of another video. So once you have that notification, you are going to receive a notification throughout a form 797C. So this notification, which is the I-797C, is going to be a notice of action from the USCIS agency, in which they are taking an action with respect to your case. So in this case, you are going to receive either a response approving your petition, or you are going to receive a request for evidence, which means that they are going to ask you for more documents, or they are going to ask you for something that they are questioning about your application. So once we receive this, they are going to approve your form, or they are going to give you the request for more evidence. However, if they approve your visa, your status, they are going to attach the I-94. The I-94 is going to be up to 2 years, So in the E2, you can have this status for 2 years and you can renew your visa. But once you get your status, this is important. Once you get your status, your E2 visa, in order for having your E2 status, in order for having your E2 visa, you have to go outside to the consulate, to your country, in order to receive your E2 visa. So once you receive your E2 visa, you are going to have the document in your passport, now we have the I-94 for 2 years, and then you are going to be able to have your business here, which is going to be part of a next video, in which we are going to explain each of the requirements for this particular petition. So, but before we leave, we are going to provide you the different main requirements that we need for this particular petition. The first thing is to keep in mind that the form that we use is the form I-129. Secondly, we have to pay a filing fee, which currently is $460. So make sure that you are going to check the current filing fee, because they are going to change for a new fees soon. Okay, right now we have an injunction from from one of the federal judges, in which this judge stopped the new regulation, which is increasing the fees for a very high value with respect to the old fees. So, but once the government will be able to have the new fees, the new filing fees, you are going to be prepared to pay more with respect to the current fees. So the third thing that you have to keep in mind is that we are doing a change of status from one non-immigrant visa to another non-immigrant visa, which is the E2 one. So now we have to keep in mind also, if you came here with your spouse, you have to bring the certificate of marriage, or if you have been divorced, you have to send also the final dissolution of marriage of these divorces. So finally, you have to send proof of nationality. Remember that one of the most important elements for this visa, for this application, is the proof of your nationality, or the proof of your citizenship of the country in which the United States has a trade agreement between that country, your citizenship country, your original country, and this country, the United States. So that's very important. So also you are going to attach proof that you are an investor for this enterprise, for this business. So in other words, we are going to have this process in order for having your E2 visas. So in the next video, we are going to enter in more detail with respect to the requirements, with respect to the explanation of each of the requirements. For example, we are going to explain what does mean, for example, the substantial investment. What does mean, for example, that I am coming with the 50% of ownership of a particular enterprise. We are going to be able to understand whether we are coming with our spouses and children minor of 21 years old, which benefits do they have when they are here. For example, the spouse is going to have employment authorization document. Meanwhile, your children are going to be able to study here. So all of these elements are going to be in the next video, and we are going to provide you important content about this type of business. Okay, see you next time, guys, and thank you very much for having me and for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We invite you to share this information to another person, to another friend that maybe is going to be interested in applying for the E2 visa, in order for that person to live here in the United States and to enjoy this amazing country, okay, throughout a very, very, very particular visa, which is not difficult to obtain. However, you need an expert, you need a person who is going to be able to provide you legal advice as a lawyer, for example. So that's why you need to pay attention when you are getting this advice from any person, or from YouTube, or from Facebook, or from Instagram, because this information sometimes, most of the time, is not reliable. So you need to find the right person for you to get the right information. So guys, see you next time. Have a